Hi everyone, Gig Coach Jake here, your go-to for gig economy news, tips, and tricks, and today's a very important topic. I'm going to teach you some tips and strategies on how to make $1,000 a week on DoorDash alone consistently. Some of you are saying, no way, BS, he's a liar, crazy. Hold on, before you jump into the comments section, give me a minute, hear me out. Again, this is not how I made $1,000 in a week here in Phoenix, like a lot of other people are doing. I want to show you tips and strategies on how you can make $1,000 a week consistently in your market. Of course, this is market dependent. There's going to be a small percentage where this is not applicable. The majority of markets, this is applicable because I'm teaching principles within these strategies. So hear me out. Now, the biggest thing we want to do is find offers that pay out higher than the income guarantee, right? But some of you are saying, there's not many of those in my market. No problem. I have the perfect tips and strategy for you. Now, a lot of my markets are like mine. They're paying out what, like $5 to $7 on average? That's fine. No big deal. I can still help you find a way with that $5 to $7 incoming offer average how to make $1,000 a week consistently without burning yourself out. Now, what I want to teach you is how to find those incoming offers that pay out higher. There's the widget that we can use. Yes, it's for Android. Not everybody has use of the widget. But I have ways for those of you that do not have Android device to still find the higher paying offers. I'm going to show you that towards the end of the video. What I want to jump to now is a very important strategy that's going to help all of you win and succeed with DoorDash alone and make $1,000 a week. This is the 30-40-50 rule. I know you're like, what? The who? How? When? 30-40-50 rule is what we're going to use to determine what offers we accept. We're also going to use the deliver by time. So that deliver by time on the screen when you have the incoming offer gives us an estimate. Yeah, some of you are saying, that's not accurate, it's always wrong, blah, blah, blah. If you're saying that, then you already have market knowledge. You should know which merchants, which times, places, and areas will take how long. So just use that estimated time. But for right now, I just want to use the estimated time of 20 minutes and 30 minutes for educational purposes to teach you how to use this 30-40-50 rule with estimated delivery time. Now, the 30 rule is what we would use if you want to make 18 an hour, 40 rule for 24 an hour, and the 50 rule for $30 an hour, and then somewhere in between. You can use the 3.5 rule for 21 an hour and the 4.5 for 27 an hour. I know some of you are thinking, oh, hold on, you're making it difficult. I'm going to keep it simple math. Real simple for you all. That way, again, it's a strategy you can use when the incoming offer comes in. You can make a quick, fast decision and move forward in the best way possible. Now back to the 30-40-50 rule. Now 20-minute estimate. You're just going to take the 2 out of the 20 and the 3 from the 30 and multiply those two together. Again, keeping it simple. 2 by 3 is going to give you 6. That's $6. That is the amount that you need to make on that incoming offer screen. And then you need to average 3 an hour. 20-minute delivery, right? You should be able to average 3 an hour as long as it's busy enough and you're getting back-to-back offers. You could potentially even be going faster. It could be 15. You might get 4 an hour. But again, just using this for educational purposes. And you could figure out from there. And if you were using the 40 rule, you want to make 24 an hour. The 2 by the 4, right? It gives you $8 on an incoming offer. Now hold on, if you're thinking, oh, I hardly ever see $8 offers, I'm going to show you how and why there's a lot more of those that you just aren't seeing. So give me a little bit. And if you were the 50 rule, you're trying to make 30 an hour, you would need the 2 by the 5 for a $10 offer. And it doesn't have to be 10 and 10. It could be a higher one, a lower one, somewhere in between. It doesn't have to be exact perfect math. So don't get too anal and OCD about it, like I do with some things. Back to the 30-40-50 rule. $18 an hour, you'd have to work approximately 56 hours a week to hit that $1,000 goal. Yeah, that's possible, absolutely. But is it sustainable? Not really. That is 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, week after week after week. When do you ever get a break? Yes, you can work longer days, but in this business, there's peak times. It's really tough to get a 10-hour day unless you're running multi-apps. If you're running multi-apps, absolutely, you can do 50 hours in 5 days. Monday through Friday and half, Saturday, Sunday off. But we're talking about DoorDash alone here. 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. That is not sustainable. Not ideal. Let's bump that up just a little bit. Let's say $21 an hour goal. That's very good. Less hours, that is sustainable. You're thinking, how do I get that? You said 24 an hour is the 4, the 3. Just the 3.5. You just somewhere in between. Now you're like, whoa, now you're making the math hard. No. Hold on. You're just taking the 2 by the 3.5, the 2 for the 20 minutes, and you get $7. And so on and so forth. Right? If you want to bump it up to 4.5, if you're looking to make 27 an hour, it would be $9 offer that you need at 3 deliveries an hour. So you're like, oh, you lost me. Just rewind, replay it again. Trying to keep it simple. Real simple math here. Not that hard. Just the first number in the minutes. Whether it's 20, 30, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. And multiply that by the first number in your 30, 40, 50 rule. If it's a half, it's 3, instead of 3.0, 4.0, it's 3.5, 4.5. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody with that simple math. I'm sorry if I did. Again, just an easy, simple strategy that we can use effectively to make $1,000 a week consistently. You'd have to work 48 hours a week to make that $1,000 goal at the 21 an hour. That's ideal. That's 8 hours a day, 6 days a week with a day off. And if you have busier days, you're capitalizing working more hours, maybe less hours in slower days, so on and so forth. Without being perfect exact, you can figure it out for yourself, but just using simple math and terms and principles to help you all win and succeed at this. Then obviously, if you're shooting for a higher hourly goal, you're going to work less hours to hit that $1,000. Now let's use another example, the 30 minute. All you're doing again is just taking the 3 from that 30 minute by whatever rule. So we'll go back to the 30 rule. $9. You need a $9 offer for it to make sense. Now again, some of you are back to most offers I see on DoorDash are $5 to $7. You're right. That $30 free delivery that they're offering for new people, that leads to a lot of small bill offers. Which leads me into the next thing. Now that you know the 30, 40, 50 rule, if your mind's blown, you're lost, check the description below. I have the link to the Facebook groups. I have a local one. If you're not in Arizona, please do not ask to join that one. And I have a global group. UK, Canada, Mexico, and the US. Please provide me with proof and screenshots of active status on any one of the delivery platforms. I want to see the map, the screenshot with your location and the pin on there, and then the account page with just your name alone. That will get you access to the groups. Moving on. The next is distance. We want to keep them close. Why? Because you need to do 24 deliveries a day. 3 per hour, 8 hours a day, 24 deliveries a day. If you're going too far, you're going to get less deliveries. Now, if they're higher paying, no big deal. Higher dollar per average on delivery, you don't need to do as many deliveries. But we're just basing this on that $5 to $7 average that we're used to seeing. Keep them short. Reject those further ones away, especially if you're in a market that is very busy. And most DoorDash markets are pretty busy. If you're getting on schedule, peak lunch, peak dinner time, there's a lot of offers. If your market's not busy enough, you need to jump on other apps. So for those of you that are saying there's no way I average 12 an hour, 14 an hour, there's no way it's impossible. If it is absolutely impossible in your market to stay busy and make $1,000 a week, my suggestion to you is to go sign up for other apps. Yes, it's summertime, it's tough. There's Roadie, I just signed up for. There's Shipt, I just signed up for. You can sign up for Uber, Lyft. The list goes on. Rover, which is the pet sitting. There's the WAG, the dog walking. There's so many opportunities for you to still make $1,000 per week. No excuses. If you aren't sure, hit me up, GIGCOACHJAKE@gmail.com. I will help consult and coach you. Yes, my time does cost. Time is money. It's time I'm taking away from working, but I will help. I guarantee I will get you making more than you are now, if not $1,000 per week consistently in most markets. Back to the matter at hand. So distance, keep them short and close. The shorter they are, you can then take some risk. For example, here's an offer I just had today. Short distance, and I saw the bill. I used the widget. I saw the 4 items were going to pay $58. Okay, it's a little lower. I like a $70 minimum on that bill. No big deal. It's really close. It's taking me to an area that's super busy with a lot of other merchants and a lot of businesses around that order a ton of food. High reward, low risk, because it's not far distance. What happens? I made $5.15. I made the guarantee. They tipped me $4. I got $1.15 from DoorDash. But I got this beautiful stacked offer right after that paid out huge. $3 more. This was $61 of food. Right next door. These places were literally next door to each other. We got California Pizza Kitchen and Cheesecake Factory. Great recipe for success when you're thinking about positioning yourself. Another principle that I teach. That ended up paying over $15, as you see. Didn't show me the distance, but I already knew based on my market and my experience how far it was going. It paid out almost $1.50 per mile, and the time well worth it. It took me 45 minutes round trip from home to home for this $20 combined. Yes, you're saying that sucks that I got skunked on the one, but the law of averages, the other one paid me 20%. And I'm going to teach you all that in just a second with bill total and how to use the widget. Now that you know distance, and we've talked about the 30, 40, 50 rule, and I've blown some of your minds and you're like, oh, I'm kind of lost. We're going to get back to even simpler stuff. As one of my clients, Brian, calls it, his crystal ball. He can see the future. If you don't have the widget, you can use all the tools I've been using for over a year to find higher paying offers. The item count. Yes, the item count can be deceiving. You can't always go off that. There's the Taco Bells, places that have napkins and silverware added in there, sauces, any kind of crazy. You can't always go off the item count. The other thing you can do is accept the offer, check what the bill total is, and then reassign if you absolutely have to. If you go in and it's like that other one, $24, you got $24 for all those items. Then you can go and just reassign. You have the 70%. You just need to stay above that. 3 out of 10 times, you can reassign in a bad situation. The other thing you can do, go get a tablet. Link in the description below. There's a lot of great deals on tablets on Amazon. Go get you one. Full disclaimer, I am an Amazon affiliate. I do get a little kickback if you do use the link that I post in there for any one of those specific items. No big deal if you do or not. That's the other option. If you do not have, you're not going to get a tablet or some type of Android device, you can use the item count. You can use the merchant. Is it a quality merchant? What's the average dollar per item? For example, that California Pizza Kitchen. 4 items, $60. Average dollar per item at that place is $12 to $15. Cheesecake Factory, right around the same. Right around $12 to $15. If you're not sure, go look in the customer app. Download the customer app for DoorDash or any one of the gig apps. Pull up the different merchants. See what the items cost. You'll get an idea what the average per item. Some places you can get 3 items, $70, $80. Like these steakhouses. So we want to use bill total. The Android with the widget is a phenomenal tool because it allows us to see what the actual bill total is before we accept the offer. If and when they take this way, which they can and will, you need to use this time now that you have the widget to take notes on your market. Start figuring out how many items, which places, what times, what areas are paying out higher. That way when it goes back to the way it used to be, if it does, you can already figure out which offers are going to have a higher bill total. Now I like to use $70. Anything that's lower than a $70 bill total, I will reject. Not always. As you saw just a little bit ago, those were both $60. What I want you all to use is $50 minimum. Why? The average person is going to tip 10%. That's going to give you $5 plus the DoorDash $1. There's that $6 minimum you need always, all the time, for that 18 an hour. And that's the base minimum, right? We don't want to be any lower than that. Now, there's a lot of times where that $50 is actually going to tip you 15%. The average tip will be 15%. I want you to just use 10% for easy math for your calculations and when you're figuring things. So when I use $70, that allows me $10.50 on a 15% on average. That helps me if it's 20 minutes on average to make $30 an hour on DoorDash. And it happens very often. If you don't believe me, jump in the Facebook groups and you will see a ton of drivers sharing all their wins and success on DoorDash and finding guaranteed payouts that are higher. A ton of them. Over and over. It's amazing when you show people what can be done and they actually go try and do it themselves. What is possible? The widget. If you don't have it, no big deal. Use item count. Use merchant is equality. What's the average dollar per item? And keep it close. When you do take risk and you think it's a lot of items or might pay out higher, don't take one that's a farther distance. It stings real bad, right? When you've gone 9-10 miles and that payout is only $8 or $9. Back to that $50 base bill. So when they actually do tip you out, the 15%, that is $7.50 you're going to make in the tip, plus the $1 in DoorDash. That's $8.50. $8.50 times 3, what's that? $26.50? $25.50? I believe it's $25.50 without using a calculator. That's a really good hourly on offers that we could see a lot of the time. How can you do that? You have to cherry pick. You have to reject. You cannot accept 70, 80, 90, 100% offers. If you're doing that, you're not going to make any good money. And if you're in a new market and you're like, oh, well, it's brand new. In the newer markets, they're offering crazy peak pay. You should be like seeing an extra $4, $3 on top of a $6, $7, $8, or $9 minimum to begin with. You should already be at $6 or $7 minimum to begin with. You're set. You don't have to worry about finding them. You have to find some of them, and the more of them that you find, the higher that hourly will be, and the lower your hours to make $1,000 a week will be. Again, this is not how I made $1,000 in a week. These are tips and strategies on how all of you can go out and make $1,000 per week. No excuses. And yes, I'm going to have plenty of people jump into the comments or saying whatever that it can't be done. There's always naysayers out there. There always will be. For the rest of you, let's go out there, apply these tips and strategies, and show all the naysayers that it can and will be done. And again, take notes. If and when that widget goes bye-bye, you all will be prepared because you have a better understanding from when it was around to which merchants, what size order, and what areas are going to pay you the necessary pay that you need to hit your goals. I hope all this helped. I'm going to jump into a short little clip of actual use of the widget and a screen share before I cut out. So for those of you who are like, what is this widget? How do you use it? Here you go. This is your treat for staying all the way towards the end. Here I get Chipotle offered 3 items, overall distance 7.8 miles. So I check my widget to see what the total is. I see down in the bottom right corner, $13.20. That tells me this is not going to pay out higher. I want to go ahead and reject this one and move on to the next one. Next offer coming in, we'll see what it is. It happens to be a pretty decent one, but I know from experience, this place, the item count can be very deceiving. The average price per item is lower than you expect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click off the app. You already see the floating widget in the top right corner, but normally it's not there. So we click off that app like you're going to go back to your home screen. Up in that top right corner, click on that widget. On the top right in the items, you want to slide that bar over. Bottom right corner is the total. You see $68.79 for this one here for that 14 items. You would have thought I would pay like $100 or more for the bill total, right? That's what I was thinking. But again, based off experience, I knew it was going to be a little bit lower. Still, this is right there with my $70 minimum. So I accept this one. And now I want to see what it actually pays out. So again, using the widget to see the overall bill total to make a decision before accepting or declining. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on and complete this delivery, and we'll see what it pays out in the end. As you see here, is well worth it. About 15% tip plus the $1 delivery pay from DoorDash. I hope you enjoyed that little screen share. For those of you that had no clue what the widget is, it's an amazing tool. Now you understand how it can be the crystal ball to help you see into the future. I hope this helps a lot of you go out there and hit your goals, have a lot less stress, and free up some time that you can go spend with your families or have some fun in your life outside of working and grinding every day. Have fun, be safe out there, and as always, work smarter, be a true independent contractor, and hashtag low pay, no way.